And I'd like to use this, um, could I call it a scientific or a medical approach to tackle this, to enforce on this same question so that you can handle it. They say one of the ways of treating cancer is by eliminating cancerous cells. You mentioned your efforts and doing your best. And a lot of Amazonians, members of government, would have seen that you've done your best. First of all, to show leadership, to be fair with every individual or groups of individuals involved with mayhem within government. In an eventuality where this persists, where there is persistence and your efforts are not yielding sufficient fruits, the individuals are not adhering to any solution provided, no matter how good they may seem. My question to you, Mr. President, again as a leader, how do you intend to employ government instruments to ensure that order be restored and enforced, and that those who are still the good seats, in quotes, are not contaminated in their effort to fight for Amazonia?
You see, every bad person you see today was once a good person. And I know that even some of the people too who are good today, tomorrow may be numbered among the bad people. So I'm not even flattered anymore by people saying good, this one is good, I am good, the other one is bad. Because I'm telling you, if this thing has not changed me, it has changed me the way I look at human beings. Yes. If this revolution has not done anything to me, because there are certain times I stand on the mirror like this, I say, is it still me? Because I've seen angels grow horns in 2 days. And I look at them, I cannot recognize them. I've seen it. I've seen I've seen all kinds of colors. So so the question is, what do I do now? And I'm not going to do this as a matter of labels of good and bad. No. One thing with leadership is that leadership is not only knowing what to do, but knowing how to do it and when to do it is part of leadership. Because your intentions notwithstanding, knowing what to do is not good enough. Because if you do it at the wrong time, you might be wrong, even if the content of your action looks right. If you do it in the wrong manner, you are still wrong, even though the content of your action, the intention is good. So that is what leadership is. When I sit here, I'm trying to make decisions. I want to be right on time. I want to be right in content. I want to be right in the manner. I want to make sure that I check the boxes. That is what put together makes good leadership. Leadership. That's it. So the problem is that the one thing too in leadership is that everybody wants to do your work, and it becomes very difficult. Yes, because that's and if you're not careful, you will not be the one doing your work. Somebody else doing it for you. Because if you take away that decision from my space, why am I a leader again? Then the only advice I have for me and for leadership is that don't miss the mark. Don't miss the focus. Don't remain focused. Don't let nothing go out of sight. Make sure that I'm monitoring. Make sure that I have a response and I have a plan. Make sure that I have a response and I have a plan. And make sure that I don't miss out, I don't miss the moment and the how and when to do this correctly. It should not be outside my consideration. It should be within my consideration. As long as that's within my consideration, I know it. I know it. I've got some experiences that if I share them now, some people will get angry from certain places, probably who are enjoying their retirement. They will say, "Can you imagine he said this about me?" Then they will have a 5 minutes come back to social media because of me. I've handled situations that I can look back now and ask you, was that correct? And somebody will say, yeah, it was correct. I said, but remember, it wasn't correct when I said when I decided to wait for that moment. It wasn't correct. Then now looking back, he said, oh, it was correct. It was correct. It was correct. There is there is a situation of a vice president who I had who wanted to who was opposing me. Anytime I go and make a speech, he would go and make a speech to the contrary. And it was behind the creation of an organization that was supposed to pull me out of government. And that organization gave me 3 months to be a president or they change their name. Everybody say, how can you? I'm feeling making a speech. The person goes and make a speech the same time. I'm talking to those who have been around for a while. I want to say that anything that there's nothing happening that has not happened at all. So and then they asked me that how can you do this? Like, you feel make me speak and make another speech saying the opposite of what you say and so on. Do something and not come on, do something. You know, I said no. I said no. If I tell you the whole story, how and when I did it, and I ask you today, you say, I think that was correct. But I can tell you that that time I wasn't correct. I wasn't correct at all. Some people almost try to abandon, say this thing is over, just tell me we're all going away. Yeah. But I found out because there is a law. I checked the constitution. I'm not a lazy reader. I read the constitution that we still had as a draft then. I now waited and I sent the Restoration Council by then. I said, can you promulgate that into law? They did promulgate it. I knew that there were verses in that constitution which said that no vice president is elected, vice president is appointed. So I had a document that says that that one who was elected was not properly appointed. And number two, the vice president then was a XX. I mean, the substantial vice president was an XX. But this other elected vice president was there, who was giving me headache. So I said, okay, all of us are interim because I was acting. So you two are acting. So we cannot have an acting president and a non-acting vice president. So we're acting. So both of us are acting. I know who I'm acting for. Who are you acting for? Because you're acting for an XX. So I said, so since you don't know who you're acting for, I abandoned everything. I was behaving as if I did not know. I said, okay, now the next thing is I am giving 60 days for the XX to communicate with me. I informed the whole cabinet that I want to make communicate contact with the XX. Or if within this period of time, if I don't get him, I will assume that he does not exist. So I called the chief of staff and all those people who were there. Who is the XX? This one said, no, maybe it was Cabinet to me. I said, it's a lie. Let him get in touch with me. I need to know the XX. And there was no X coming. When the time expired, I said, I wrote a letter informing the lawmaker that XX does not exist. So we cannot have somebody acting for somebody who does not exist. So the vice president XX did not exist. So how can you be acting for a vice president that doesn't exist? So when I took the decision to appoint a vice president, I did not dismiss the vice president who was acting. I simply appointed the vice president who was non-existent. So the person, the so-called vice president, went to the Restoration Council and said, I was elected, I cannot be dismissed. They said, no, according to the Constitution, you were not supposed to be elected, actually. You were supposed to be appointed. And this man has the power to appoint a vice president. And we have taken judicial notice that the vice president excess does not exist. So
Mr.
it
President,
took me
I
months
think
upon
I
months.
like.
It took
Yeah,
me
go ahead.
months upon months. Today, when we look back, was I right or I was wrong? Everybody would tell me, "Oh, you were right. That was fantastic." So I did not have my eyes off the hook. I am not. I'm not confused. I cannot be so distracted as not take my eyes off the ball. I know what I am doing, and I want to get it right at least most of the time. That's just one little example. I have so many of them. So I'm telling the people around me, allow me do the job. If you are a passenger behind the seat, don't try to drive the car.